Hi y'all, welcome to my last monthly video in my 2025 low spend year budget review. If you'd like an overview of the series, as always, I will link the playlist down below or at the end of the video. Don't know how many times I've actually forgotten to link it in the description. I try my best. A short synopsis is that the goal is to pay off my car by the end of this year. Because of interest rates, I ended up doing that in April by taking a chunk from my emergency savings account and paying that off. And then the rest of the low spend year was to pay myself back that savings and build that savings account back up to a 6-month emergency fund. So that's the overview. Let's see how I did for the month of December. So in December, our total household expenses were $5,560.97. As always, this includes things like our mortgage and escrow, internet, car insurance, pet insurance, groceries, electricity, natural gas, water, sewer, phone lines, all the utilities, right? Our HOA, we have an Amazon Prime subscription, and kids' expenses like diapers. Fingers crossed that one will go away soon, but also healthcare, health insurance, and daycare. So of that total, about $2,500 of that was daycare. Since that is by far our largest bill, I kind of like to itemize that a little bit. So that's the big household picture. This month, my part of that was $2,780.49. So it was a fairly expensive month, but yeah, we kind of expected that because it was Christmas, right? You have to pay for Christmas somehow. Let's take a look at my personal expenses. This month, or in December, I spent $102.09 on gas for my car, which is a lot more than normal, right? But that included a couple of round trips to cities that are 2 to 3 hours away from me. I was visiting my best friend. She just had her baby in December, and I was dropping off, Christmas stuff, frozen meals, those sorts of things. And then I had an unexpected trip that I had to take in the opposite direction to a different city. So yeah, a little bit more expensive for gas this past month. $176.63 went to necessary expenses. So a lot of that is generally like toiletries and that sort of thing. The bulk of that this month went to an unexpected night in a hotel. Like I said, that unexpected trip to a different city, a couple hours away. So that was quite pricey as well. I spent $329.90 on gifts and donations, largely Christmas, right? I don't really think there's anything else to say about that. I was a little spendy. I thought I had most of my Christmas done, and then in true me fashion, there were things when I was just out and about getting a little incidental. So I'm like, oh, so-and-so would love that. Oh, this other person would love that. And I did not rein myself in very well. So we didn't go crazy with Christmas, but also could have been a little bit more frugal than I was. But you know what? Those gifts brought a lot of joy, so don't really regret it. My fun spending totaled $280.67. Since it was around the holidays, there were lots of outings with friends, lots of outings with family, days taking my kids out to go Christmas shopping for their siblings and for their dad, and just being able to spend time with my loved ones. And then also there were, since I was busy doing the holiday stuff, buying more convenience type of food at the grocery store for when I was working, and similar kind of just small treats, coffee with friends, those sorts of things. So my personal expenses total to $889.29. So definitely up there. Overspent my budget in nearly all of my personal categories this month. I don't really talk about it too much in this series, but I do have a budget where I estimate my cost for each category. And let me tell you, underestimated pretty much all of them for this past month. And I could kind of tell that was happening as time went on. I know in November I said that I was concerned that I might overspend this month, and boy howdy did I. Ended up being the case. But, you know, I also know the importance of spending time with friends, times with family. Over the winter holidays, it's really the time of the year when I get the bulk of my paid vacation. Like, I don't have to take annual leave, but I actually have paid holidays around this time. So I think I get like what did I get? A little under a week and a half off, you know, and I know that's pretty unusual for a lot of people. That's quite a bit of vacation around that time, to not have to take annual leave during that, or paid time off, however you guys refer to that. So yeah, I enjoyed my time with family and with my friends, and I was able to kind of take a few breaths and relax, and really tried not to think about the money of it, because spending money when I'm out with friends and family, like that was one of my allowed expenses within my low spend year, because I didn't want to have my low spend year affect my relationships in any way, right? And I know you can do it in a way where you're not spending money and it still won't affect your relationships, but I wasn't willing to do that this go around, right? I have done that in the past. So didn't do very well staying in budget, but I do value kind of what those things, what the money went towards, I guess is the way to say that. So looking at my total expenses, my household and my personal expenses together, those totaled $3,669.78. My income for this month, my take-home pay, was $3,727.85. If you've been following along, you know that I expected my income to take a small dip due to increasing healthcare costs. For the new year, the costs are taken out of the paycheck prior to when I'm receiving the services. So my January healthcare costs came out of my December paycheck. Still do not have word on when the state legislature will decide to pass a budget. Our fiscal year started back in July of 2025, and that's generally when I would hear about if I was receiving any sort of cost of living raise for the year, if we were getting any bonuses, anything like that. But from what I have read most recently, the legislature isn't even going to attempt to address the budget until April, which feels like they shouldn't be able to put it off that long. But that is a digression that I'm not going to go into. But just so you know, if you have been following along and you notice that my take-home pay is a little bit less this month, it will continue to be that lower amount now. And it's only, it's like $60 or something like that. It's not horrifically lower in the grand scheme of things. So my income less my expenses this month, the grand total of what I was able to set aside was $58.07. Definitely not the grand finish to my low spend year that I was hoping for. But like I said, I knew December was going to be a more expensive month, and really at the end of it, I'm just happy that I had money left to transfer over. Honestly, I was afraid that I had completely, not just like overspent my anticipated budget, but overspent my take-home pay, you know, like went into, is it the red? Went into the red, went into the black. I can never remember. I'm not a financial person as I am putting out all these financial videos. But yeah, I thought I was going to go into the negatives this month. Luckily, I did not. Luckily, I had about $60 to transfer over. So not the rah-rah, yay, I did an amazing job finish that I was hoping for the year. But December is only 1 month. This was a marathon, not a sprint. We win some battles, we lose other battles, right? We need to kind of keep that kind of mindset when we're doing this big long-term goal. So that's going to be it for my December low spend year review. I have decided to keep this video just reviewing December. I know in previous videos I have promised you that I'm going to review the year as a whole, assessing what I did over the year, seeing where I am with my goals that I set and what I plan to do financially moving forward. But all of that content kind of felt like it needed its own video. Not to worry, since I did promise you it in today's video, I am releasing that video at the same time as I'm releasing the December review video, right? This video. But I just wanted to keep it separate. It seemed to make sense thematically to me, and then people can like just watch that one if they want, or you can just watch the December one if you like more of the monthly videos. So if you're interested in seeing that video, I have linked it down below. I'll link it in the end screen here in the videos. And as always, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you want to continue to follow my journey. If you've been doing low spend shenanigans along with me, please comment down below how your December went. I'd be interested in hearing if you guys like really nose to the grindstone and did really super well, and then we can all celebrate that, or if you were like me and were a little bit more lax so that you could enjoy the time with friends and family. But that'll be it for this video. I will see you the next time. Bye.